Making a useful comment on an article can be the first step in building a relationship with the writer. For example, Kat Gordon of MaternalInstinct.com got a nice editorial link, followed by a full feature article, all because of a comment she made to Jeff Hayden of Inc. magazine. I talked to Kat a few weeks back and asked her to explain.
Jeff Hayden had written an article that I read that I really liked. Mm-hmm. And when I went to go follow him on Twitter, that's when I realized he wasn't using it appropriately. And so I left a comment on his article, kind of suggesting that he might want to be more active on Twitter. And he then sent me an email saying, here is my public stance on Twitter. And it was a link to an article he'd written about why he uses Twitter the way he does. So that initiated a dialogue. And so my email back to him was literally just to say to him, hey, you work for a business publication. Twitter has incredible business uses that you are not taking advantage of, and you're cheating your readers of an opportunity to get to know you through this platform. So I really just wrote it from the heart, and he emailed me back and said, could I publish your letter? And of course I said yes. So I didn't have an agenda. I just really had a perspective I wanted to share with him. And to his credit, he was big enough to, his article was called I Was Wrong About Twitter. And he credited me with changing his mind. So that was gratifying. So I think, part of, for me, is pay attention in your dealings in your world. And when you disagree with something or agree with something or have something to add, journalists aren't smarter than we are. They have an audience. So it's share what you're thinking and what you know in a genuine fashion. I think the fact that I had a genuine response to something he did, I expressed it with respect in a timely manner, is why it turned out the way it did.
I've worked with many small businesses. They sometimes don't realize the power that they can have if they take positive action.
So I totally agree with you. I mean, they're powerful, and I think that makes them appear kind of godlike, and you think, well, they're going to be too busy or they won't care about my opinion, but they're trained to care about what the public thinks and to sniff out a good story. So again, if it's genuine and you have a response to something or an interest something or some unique perspective to add, that's a powerful thing. So why silence it?
And then, Jeff, he followed up with you and wrote another article. Is that right?
Yes. So that's where I started to be a little more strategic. I realized that he was someone that now trusted my opinion. I reached out to him and I said, I have another idea I want to talk with you about. So we scheduled a time to talk on the phone. And I thought long and hard about what I know in my business and what the readership would be looking for, because I read Inc. magazine too. Small business owners could benefit greatly from some of the best practices we share with our clients. And so I explained to him how the agency I run, we specialize in marketing to women. Understanding how to market to women has gains that are so enormous that small businesses should care. And when I spoke to him a few weeks after that article went online, it was not in the magazine, he said that 22,000 people had read that article. That was great, and it was good. Again, it was good for him and it was good for me. It was good for everyone.
It's that you've got something tremendously useful for his readers. And again, that's a mind shift that many small businesses have got to get. If you think about the readers of the publication, then you're halfway there.
I totally agree. And then that goes back to seeing the journalist as a business person. He has an audience he needs to answer to. So he's going to care about what you have to say if there's something in it for his reader.
And one of the things I was impressed actually just with your comment on marketing profs is that you added something useful. So you just didn't say, well, here's a great article. You actually give some of your insight as well. And I think that, again, it's a great way to comment on articles.
I agree. And you'll sometimes see an article that has hundreds of comments and half of them are nothing more than thumbs up.
How easy do you think it is for small businesses to start doing this type of thing?
Well, probably the biggest challenge is time. Small businesses are so time starved and, everyone wears so many hats that it's probably hard to know how to have someone that's either being the voice of the company out on blogs and, trying to drum up some PR. So I think that's probably the biggest challenge, is making it a priority. And one of the great quotes, I don't know if your readers are familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk. I went to go hear him speak. I read his books. That guy is the real deal. And he talks about how small business owners say, I can't do all this social media because I'm too busy running my business. To which he reminds them, this is running your business. That is your business. That's just as important as, mopping the floors at night and locking up and receipts and all of it. I might not generate an invoice for time I spent on something, but it always comes back to me, or it becomes part of my personal brand, my agency's brand. So it's a priority.